Alrighty then. So the brand split is now official. Monday Night Raw was live, and everything felt new to Monday Night Raw. Holy crap. It actually felt refreshing watching this episode of Raw. Now, why I'm doing a Raw review tonight is because I couldn't get on the post-Raw rundown. I mentioned my boy Connor if I could make it. They actually did the show, so I was like, man, I really want to get on and talk about this Raw. There was a lot of things that I want to get off my damn chest about this episode of Raw, and I was typing in the chat, but, you know, I'm more of a vocal person than a typing person. You know, me typing, it's not that fun. Y'all like to hear me scream and shout about shit, and best believe I probably will have a little bit more negative things to say about this Raw than most people, but don't think that this episode was a bad episode. Oh, no. This was probably one of WWE's better episodes in quite some time. They actually produced a well-thought-out 3-hour show. Of course, some elements were missing from this Monday Night Raw. The elements that were missing from this Monday Night Raw were the Cruiserweight division. We didn't get to see our Cruiserweight action. You know, the Cruiserweight division was brought to Monday Night Raw. It's going to be a Raw exclusive. You know, Stephanie made the whole excuse was because we needed the Cruiserweight division on Raw. We didn't get to see that, so we will have to wait and see what they do with the Cruiserweights in future episodes of Raw. The one thing also they added was, like, you know, there was rumors. They did squash matches on this episode of Raw. Nia Jax had a squash match. Care Bear had a squash match. And Neville had a squash match. I mean, he was facing Curtis Axel, Mr. Irrelevant Curtis Axel. But, you know, they at least had a squash match. They had 3 squash matches. And I'm fine with squash matches. I know a lot of people, they're not big fans of squash matches. They don't like the squash matches, to be honest. They just say, like, they're boring. They're not real matches. They're not our 15-minute false finish, flippy-flip, kick matches. But the thing about squash matches that I like about squash matches is it lets the people know what the superstar can do, so people know what the superstar's finishing moves are, gets you familiar with the superstar in the ring. My problem is when you have 2 similar squash matches. Like, Nia Jax and Care Bear, they wrestle the exact same. They are both power wrestlers. I don't need to see 2 power wrestlers in squash matches. No, you need to separate the squash matches. Maybe one day have a squash match with the Cruiserweight and show what the Cruiserweight can do to a loser Cruiserweight or something. You know what I'm saying? Having a squash match with 2 power wrestlers, that's just weak, man. That is just weak. Not a big fan of having similar squash matches. It's like having similar matches back to back. They can kind of get repetitive. They can kind of get boring. But the same goes with squash matches. If you have the similar squash match every single time, it can get repetitive. It can get boring. And so that's why I wasn't a big fan of Care Bear and Nia Jax both having squash matches, because pick one. Just pick one or the other. Both don't need squash matches. Decide which one you want to push the most. I honestly think Nia Jax you should push more, but hey, what do I know? I mean, Vince loves the Care Bear. Care Bear. And that reverse chokeslam Care Bear was doing, that was absolutely dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Dreadful stuff. But really, to be honest, just like in the future, I don't care if WWE has 2 squash matches on the show, 3 squash matches. Just have it where it's different movesets or different people doing the squash matches, not just the same type of style, the same, I'm a brawler, I'm going to throw you down type of style, because we've seen that so many times. We've seen that so many times where someone is just a brawler and beats it up. And make sure that these guys are not just squashing random no-name talent. It's fine to squash, you know, current guys that you have on the roster. You know, like Curtis Axel's Mr. Irrelevant. That's fine. You can squash him. What is Curtis Axel going to bring you in the long run? If anything, it helps people get over. Remember X-Pac? Everyone remembers X-Pac back in the day. He was the 1, 2, 3 kid. He was like the kid. He would always get squashed, man. He was always getting squashed on Monday Night Raw back in the day, on WWF Monday Night Raw. He was always getting squashed. It got over because of it. He became a familiar jobber. So, you know, maybe one of these jobbers, maybe they can become familiar jobbers. Maybe WWE signs them for like a quick, you know, two minutes or something. Who knows? But that's something that WWE needs to do when they come to squash matches, is just change up the type of wrestler I'm going to see in the squash match. Speaking of Neville, and trust me, guys, this Raw review, it's not going to go in any particular order. I'm just going to talk about the stuff that is least important and then talk about the more important stuff further down the line. So that way you guys know what my reviews are about. It is from least important to the most important stuff. And talk about Neville, he came back. He looked great. He looks jacked as fuck. I mean, seriously, Seth Rollins came back from injury. He got jacked. Same with Neville. Neville came back from injury, and now he's jacked. I want to be stealing some of Brock Lesnar's enhancements because this dude is jacked. I don't know what this guy's doing, but I don't know how he's going to make the cruiserweight division. The cruiserweight division now is 200 pounds. Neville's 220. He's going to have to cut a lot of weight. Just to be a cruiserweight champion. Maybe that's how they'll get Neville's personality. Can you imagine Neville? He's like Matt Hardy version 1. He's all like trying to lose weight just to beat up on the poor little cruiserweights. I think it'd be great. I don't know. What do you guys think about Neville returning? I'm happy Neville's back. And Neville's one of my favorites. Really like the dude. Kind of wish he was on SmackDown just a little bit. He seems more of a SmackDown guy than a Raw guy, but I do like Neville. I think Neville is a very good talent, and I wish nothing but the best for him. Other news that we have, the New Day have broken Lundrick's record. Rest in peace, Paul London and Brian Kendrick. They are no longer the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions in WWE history. We got to give a moment of silence to Lundrick, damn it. So sad. I mean, that reign was great. I mean, they beat up Deuce and Domino. They beat up... Okay, that reign wasn't so great. And I know someone's going to say, no, they're not the longest reigning Tag Team Champions because Demolition held the belt for 2 years. Look, WWE Tag Team Championship, not World Tag Team Championship. They beat Brian Kendrick and Paul London today. And so the New Day had their celebration. Look, I like the New Day when they were like accidentally funny heels, when it was just like, oh my God, these guys are just so atrocious. It was great. I don't like the New Day when they're trying to be funny. The New Day trying to be funny, their comedy doesn't resonate with me. So when the club came out and they messed everything up, I was so happy. Look, I'm just going to say this right now. The club, they have to win at SummerSlam if they're going to go for the tag team titles. I don't know what WWE's plans are for the tag team titles. Maybe they'll do another fatal four-way cluster like they did last SummerSlam, but they need to really, really give the club the tag team titles. The club needs those belts. I mean, you're separating the club already from AJ Styles. You already said in the gimmick that the club's gimmick is, hey, these guys are going to divide and conquer. They're going to destroy everyone in their way. Well, you know what? It's time to do that with the club. I mean, you got a little hint with the guy who we're going to be talking about. Hell, he's in the title. We can talk more about him a little bit later and stuff like that. But you got to give the club that rub. You have to give them the tag team titles. Look, whether you like the club or hate the club, and really, to be honest here, when it comes to the club, I really like Carl Anderson. Just like the tag team portion of the club, I don't like Carl Anderson. I could give a fuck less about Festus. I do not care about Festus whatsoever. But golly, these guys need to become the tag team champions. The New Day, they run their course as the champions. As a gimmick, that's a debatable topic if they run their course as a gimmick. But as tag champs, man, they're just deflating. You got to move on. You got to go on and give it to the club. The club needs these belts, and the reason being is because you want to try to build up the club name. You want to build up that club enterprise. I mean, you got a guy like AJ Styles in the club. You know, there's someone else who we're going to talk about a little bit later on. And then also you got these two guys. I mean, heck, you got to give the club the straps at SummerSlam. If they don't give the club the straps at SummerSlam, it's ridiculous. You know what's also ridiculous? How WWE is kind of using Enzo and Cass in a way. And, like, you know, every tag team that's not going for the tag team strap. I mean, we had the Golden Truth playing Pokemon Go. What the Shining Stars, my boys, they came out just to get squashed by Enzo and Cass. But it's like Enzo and Cass, like, they're feuding with the club, and just because they won, all of a sudden they're not trying to make their stake at the claim for the world tag or for the tag team titles. They're not sitting there saying, oh, you know what? Let's go for the tag team titles. They beat the club last night with their boy John Cena. Enzo and Cash should not be coming out there and just sitting there like, oh, you know what, guys? We don't care about the tag team titles. Bada boom. What do I like? Raw. It's like, no. Y'all should be going out there and telling the club, hey, you guys going back of the line. We kicked your asses at Battleground. It's our time. We deserve the tag team titles. That's what I just didn't get. Like, anytime a tag team's not going for the tag team titles, WWE just makes it so confusing about what these guys are doing. It's just like, who are these guys? Why are they doing what they're doing? Do you guys get that same feeling, or is it just me? Am I just like the only person that just sometimes doesn't understand what WWE is doing with their extra tag teams that are running about? Because I just don't know what they're doing. I kind of wish that they, gave them some more love. I mean, Enzo and Cash just beat these guys. Why aren't they going for the belts? I'm just talking about progression and everything like that. So, overall, though, club needs to win the belts. I think Enzo and Cash should be thrown into that match. I'll just make it a 4-way cluster, throw Pokemon Go team, or choose a SmackDown team like American Alpha, damn it, and just put them in there. Now, we're getting into now the major talking points of Raw. And, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this episode. There's no denying that. The brand split right now, if you want to go with the overreaction, it seems like a great idea as of right now, just based off the overreaction and the quality of Monday Night Raw. But one thing I wanted to talk about, that it's important to me. I don't know if it's important to you guys, but it's important to me, and that's presentation. You see, when I watch a wrestling show, I want to feel like I'm watching a wrestling show. And WWE, with the new theme song by Shinedown, and, the new setup for Monday Night Raw, it felt like watching a wrestling show. It felt like watching something from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? That felt like a wrestling show. The new setup, the new logo. I don't know why y'all are hating on the new logo. I think the new logo is nice. It looks like the vintage logo with the new colors. I like it. I like the new logo that WWE has for Raw. It looks nice. Now, when it comes down to the text of like the replay screen and all that other stuff, that needs to change. I'll agree with that. That needs to change. That looks But when it comes down to everything else, I like how Raw was presented. I like the theme song. It feels like I'm watching a pro wrestling show. That's something great right there. Like, that's what I hope when SmackDown comes on tomorrow, that I sit there and I see a floating fist. And it's just like, oh, baby, SmackDown. Oh, baby. So that's what I hope for SmackDown tomorrow, is that I get a nice presentation. MJ, PG, and Chill. If it's too soon for Enzo and Cass, then why did they beat the club who are looking to become the number one contenders? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely zero sense. If you're saying it's too soon for Enzo and Cass, yet it's not too soon for the club? That makes no sense to me, man. I'm just saying, like, they beat the club. They should be the number one contenders, not fucking the club. At least in my personal opinion, if you want to go based off logic and everything like that. That's just me. So yeah, and then another thing I wanted to talk about was a lot of people saying like RIP to Raw. Like, everyone's like, oh yeah, not to Raw, to SmackDown. Like, everyone shit on SmackDown already, and SmackDown hasn't even got an episode up, man. Everyone's like, oh man, SmackDown's dead. Good luck, SmackDown Live. It's like, goddamn. Can't we just be excited that both brands could be fucking great, like, or fucking good at least? It's like everyone just shitting on SmackDown. Look, if Raw ended on a different way, y'all would hate this episode. A lot of people would be like, no, this episode was trash. Let's keep it 100. If the main event went any different, y'all would not be saying RIP to SmackDown. Y'all would be saying, floating a different tune. Nah, man. SmackDown's going to be good too. What's wrong with both of them being good? By the way, I'm Team SmackDown, by the way. I'm a SmackDown fan. It's just like, hey, don't lack on SD. Be proud. Like, after Battleground, how many of you were sitting there saying, oh, Raw's going to be good tomorrow? No. Y'all were saying to yourself probably, well, Raw's going to be the same. Raw's not going to be any different. Raw is going to be the same. And look at that. Raw was good. So let's give SmackDown the benefit of the doubt before we start hating on it, before we start saying that SmackDown is bad. So, yeah. Too soon, not because they aren't good enough, but WWE want to build them up more. New Day is too hot right now. I guess the New Day is still kind of hot. Disgusting. Chris Bandicoot, yes, I will review SmackDown episodes, but they will not be right after SmackDown. Here's the thing. I'll get to that when I get there, Chris Bandicoot, but I will be reviewing SD as well. So anyways, time to get on to some of the major portions of Raw. Sasha Banks versus Charlotte for the women's title. So WWE, you know, they really wanted you to give a fuck about this episode of Raw. They really did. They were like, no, you got to give a fuck about this episode because we're going to give you Sasha Banks and Charlotte free on TV. They're like, you got to give a crap about this episode. You got to. So they gave us Sasha Banks and Charlotte free on TV. I wasn't a big fan of it, to be honest with you, that they gave this away for free because it's just like, come on. You want to hype this up for SummerSlam. But, hey, it is what it is. They wanted to make sure people were paying attention to this episode of Raw. They wanted to make sure people actually cared what was going on tonight. And so there we had it. We had a tremendous match between Sasha Banks and Charlotte. A wonderful match, a fun match to watch, a match that was just excellent throughout. Yeah, it was just some botches. Yeah, but there's botches in a lot of matches. But when it came down to the women's matches and women's quality, this was excellent. These two women went out there and they killed it. Told a really good story. Sasha, there's one point where, like, I guess a lot of people did complain about. It's like, how come Sasha didn't get DQ'd or Charlotte didn't get DQ'd because of the whole title thing and the whole Eddie Guerrero thing that Sasha paid tribute to? Yeah, I can agree with that. That makes no sense. But from the match quality perspective and from what I want out of a big-time TV match, look, if a match is for the title and it's on television, if you're going to give me a TV match and it's for the title, it has to deliver. It has to be something worth my damn time. And this match delivered. Tremendous match by both these women. Easily the match of the night. And now we have a new WWE Women's Champion. I was sitting there. I was all worried. I thought Triple H was going to prevail again. I thought Charlotte was going to be like, it's all about the game and how you play it. Like, oh, God. I was just seeing it there. I was like, oh, no. Charlotte's still going to win. Triple H golden children for life, brother. But nope. Charlotte did the honors. Sasha Banks won with the Banks in it. Charlotte tapped out, which surprised me. But hey, I guess Triple H tapped out to a ghost, so it's okay for Charlotte to tap out to Sasha. And now we got a new women's champion. Finally, it's Sasha Banks. Now, you know, people were talking about, was it too early to give Sasha Banks the women's championship here? Because it was like, oh, you know, she could have won at SummerSlam. But what about the argument that maybe, like, the WWE gave it to Sasha a little bit too late? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone wanted her to win at WrestleMania. And then after WrestleMania, Sasha Banks became, like, the biggest ghost ever. She disappeared. And I know she suffered a concussion and everything like that. But she came back, and she was able to still get the crowd behind her and everything like that. It's just that, like, you kind of have to wonder, maybe WWE kind of, like, pulled this trigger a little bit too late, that maybe they should have done this sooner. I mean, how long was Charlotte's reign? It was almost a year. Did it break Fearless Nikki's reign? Because if it broke Fearless Nikki's reign, I'm going to be upset. You guys know I love my girl, Nikki Bella. Don't you dare hate on Nikki Bella. You hate on Nikki Bella on this channel, you guys know I'm going to get my Nikki Bella rant going and how I'm going to defend her. So, yeah. Anyways, great match. Definitely go watch it in full. Great match from the women. And now it's time to talk about the main stuff, the big time, the main event stuff. So, since Raw failed to win the WWE Championship at Battleground last night, Dean Ambrose is still our WWE Champion. He's now on SmackDown Live as the World Champ. Raw has to bring in a new world title. And already, this was for me, oh, no. Look, I'm just saying this right now. I feel one world title is good enough at this moment of time. We do not need two. We do not need two world championships, man, because it dilutes the other titles. And so I was just waiting to see what the title's name was going to be. And then Foley was all like, this is for the WWE Universe. I was like, oh my, what? I thought they were going to call it the WWE Universe Championship. Nope. It's the WWE Universal Championship. That's such a mid-card title, man. That's such a mid-card ass name. I'm sorry. Universal Championship? It's for the WWE Universe. Just call it the WWE Universe title or something. Oh my God, Universal Studios Orlando. Watch out, TNA. They're taking over now. They're taking over. But yeah, so WWE Universal Championship. Seth Rollins, he gets an automatic bye for the title because he was the number one pick. And you know what's sad too? You know, WWE does such a good job at making Rollins such a despicable human being where you just don't want to like him. But the problem is like, it's so hard to hate Seth Rollins. It's like WWE does everything despicable, like something that you should not like about this guy. Like, if this was back in 03 and 04 when the writing was more on point, you know, Seth Rollins would be being booed at the fact that he got to go to the finals. But since this is like, you know, 2016, the writing's pretty trash, you know, like there's no reason to really hate Seth Rollins all that much. It's kind of like, all right, cool, he deserves it. And it sucks too, because I really want to hate Seth Rollins. Not as a wrestler or anything like that, but like as a character. I really want to go out there and just be pissed off that Seth Rollins keeps getting all these opportunities and stuff like that. But it's so hard to like disagree with like Seth Rollins' body of work and everything like that. If you just like look at it from a body of work standpoint, it's so hard to disagree with like Seth Rollins getting that opportunity. It's just so hard. It's just so hard. MJ, PG, and Chill said Triple H should have just come out and give Rollins the world title like how Eric Bischoff gave it to him. Yeah! Why not? Why not make Seth Rollins your first Universal champ? Fuck having a match. But then again, fans will just cheer it. So, yeah. So, we're going to have a bunch of Fatal 4-Ways tonight, or 2 Fatal 4-Ways, and then the winners of those Fatal 4-Ways, we're going to battle it out in the main event, and the winner would face Seth Rollins. And see, when you just hear that rule, you just hear that like, oh, that these guys have to go through a Fatal 4-Way and then face each other and then go into the main event to fight Seth Rollins. It's like, really? Like, how is Seth Rollins not the most hated man in professional wrestling as a character? It's hard to hate him. It just really is hard to hate him. And it sucks. I just wish WWE could write better. Is that so hard to ask for? It's just for better writing to make me hate Seth Rollins. Because, like, at this point in time, just might as well turn him face. Don't gonna boo this guy. So hard to boo. So, anyways, that was announced. We got our first Fatal 4-Way, our first match of the night. You had Cesaro, you had Kevin Owens, you had Rusev, and you had Finn Balor in this Fatal 4-Way match. Terrific start to Raw. Not the match of the night. You know, the women's match was better, but a terrific start to Raw. Did the match go on a little bit too long, too many segments? I would say yes. They could have cut out some of the bullshit in this match for sure. But for the most part, it was still a terrific start to Raw. And look at who won this one. Finn Balor. Oh, we'll get more into Finn Balor later. Don't get it wrong. You all know why you came to this review. That's not bullshit. The title even says it itself. Y'all know why you're here for this review. We'll get more into Finn Balor and Triple H Golden Children love for him a little bit later. Then we had another Fatal 4-Way. It was Reigns, Sheamus, who I honestly thought was on SmackDown. I was like, Sheamus is on Raw? I thought he was on SmackDown. So Sheamus was on there. Sami Zayn. And then, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. I think it was Jericho. I think Jericho was the last guy in this match. Half paying attention to this one. And really, to be honest, I knew Reigns was going to win. There was like no, when you were watching the other Fatal 4-Way, you didn't know who was going to win. This Fatal 4-Way, it was like, oh yeah, Roman Reigns is winning this one. Like yeah, they were going to give it to Sami Zayn, guys. Oh, the internet would have exploded. Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn, and the winner faces Seth Rollins. They're not giving it to Sami Zayn. They're not giving it to Y2J, the gift of Jericho. Drink it in. And hell no, they ain't giving it to Sheamus. Oh no, Sheamus. Ugh. So you knew Roman Reigns was going to win this one. And that set up the main event between Reigns and Finn Balor. Winner takes on Seth Rollins for the WWE Universal Championship. And the match itself was a fine main event. It's not nothing too special. I think these guys could do a lot better with each other, to be honest with you. It's a fine main event. And holy fucking shit, Finn Balor wins. Wow. Finn Balor pinned Roman Reigns clean. No bullshit. Coup de grace. Hit the swing blade, the kick to the face, and then the coup de grace, and it was all over from then on out. Roman Reigns lost. Finn Balor, the demon, is now going to face off against Seth Rollins for the WWE Universal Championship. Oh, God. Now, look. For all the Finn Balor fans watching, for all the Seth Rollins fans watching, look. Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins will be a good fucking match. I am not denying it. Finn Balor is a wonderful talent that I think can do good things for this company. I don't hate any of these two. I've been on record that I'm a Seth Rollins fan, even though a lot of people don't like to believe it. And I've been on record that I'm not really the biggest fan of Finn Balor, but I see the appeal that he brings to the table. I'm not blind or stupid. You know, Sami Zayn, I don't get that much. NXT Sami Zayn, yes. Current Sami Zayn, no. But when it comes to Finn Balor, it was funny to me. So many people, and yes, I know, Chase, because you're the big Roman Reigns fan and all this other stuff. And yeah, I'm a Roman Reigns fan. Deal with it. I actually like a bunch of different talents. I don't like the same fucking tile wrestler. It's funny to me how a lot of people just was mad that Reigns would get shoved down our throats. And you guys know that I've always been someone that talked about with Reigns, he's not the only one to been shoved down our throats. Seth Rollins has as well. For the amount of times I bitch about Reigns and Rollins both being shoved down our throats, there's no denying Finn Balor was fucking shoved down our motherfucking throats tonight. I don't want any Balor fans trying to defend this shit. I am telling you how I see it. They shoved him down our fucking throats. Is it a good move? Only time will fucking tell. Only time will tell to see if this shoving of Finn Balor was a wonderful move for the WWE. But holy shit. What a shove. This is the glory of a Triple H golden child right here. You had it where Finn Balor is in a Fatal 4-Way, okay? And this Fatal 4-Way featured Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Rusev, and himself. All right. Of all the guys in that Fatal 4-Way, if you didn't watch this match, and if I told you, hey, this Fatal 4-Way happened, and Finn Balor won, who do you think he pinned? A lot of you would probably say Cesaro, because, you know, really, what are they going to do with Cesaro? A lot of you guys would probably say Kevin Owens, because, you know, he's been on a losing streak. But I bet you a lot of you wouldn't be saying Rusev, because Rusev has always been presented as a strong character, as a strong guy that the WWE, no matter what, he never loses clean. Rusev has only lost clean to one man, and that's John Felix Anthony Cena. Rusev, for the most part, is always so dominant as a character. And here tonight, Finn Balor, his first night on Raw, this motherfucker comes and he beats Rusev like it's nothing. And then you have it where Finn Balor is facing off against a former 3-time world champion in Roman Reigns, a guy who has main evented 2 WrestleManias, won a Royal Rumble, a former superstar of the year. And Finn Balor goes and beats him clean? And now he's going on and he's facing off against a former 2-time world champ, Money in the Bank winner, Seth Rollins? Please tell me how this is not a shove. Please tell me that how this is not a fucking shove, because this is a shove if I've ever seen one. I get it. What he did on NXT and all that other stuff. Whoop-de-flippin' his NXT title run was pretty underwhelming for the most part. It wasn't like the network was gaining any subscriptions when Finn Balor was NXT champion. You can check the network ratings of their freaking shows. It wasn't like NXT was the highest rated network show when they were getting it. Table for 3, old episodes of Nitro, old episodes of pay-per-views and stuff like that were being higher rated than NXT on some weekly basis. And you can check this too. On your WWE network under the most popular videos, sometimes NXT would not even be on the first page. Blue Knight, you're fine. You had some Diet Dew. Diet Dew does that to a person. You're not trolling anything. It's like, really, to be honest, and I'm not trying to doubt Finn Balor as a talent. No, the dude's a good talent. He's absolutely wonderful. I'm not trying to say that this guy is absolute trash. No, Finn Balor ain't trash. He's a wonderful talent. I can see the dollar signs that he could possibly create for the WWE in the future. But it's like, at that moment in time, it's like, really? You're going to just give him that right away? I'm just saying right now, WWE, if you're going to do this with Finn Balor, if you're going to shove him down our throats and make us want to cheer and love and admire this guy, you will have to, and I repeat this again, you have to go all the way with it. You cannot freaking just do the little dick tease. Give him that universal title. As much as that makes you want to puke in your mouth hearing that and makes you say, oh, that's disgusting, they have to. Don't half-ass this. If you're going to freaking shove this guy down our throats and make him into some big fucking deal, you have to give him that title. Don't just dick around with it. Hey, if you want this guy as your main guy, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Seriously, go right ahead. Won't bug me, because at least you're sticking to your fucking guns and deciding on who you want as a top guy. I don't care what, you know, there's certain wrestlers where I just don't understand why WWE wants to push them. I can understand WWE wanting to push Finn Balor. He's Irish. Ireland is a very popular country when it comes to wrestling and combat sports and everything like that. He has the whole Carnage face paint, the demon and all that other stuff. Yeah, that's cool. Fine with it. I get it. But holy shit, when people are over there and saying to themselves, oh my God, you know, Finn Balor getting this title shot, this is awesome, and they don't even credit the fact that he was shoved down our throats. That's ridiculous. Anyone else, if they would have done this, everyone would have been so pissed off. But since it's a favorite of everyone's, they're not pissed off. And that's what pisses me off, is that Balor's getting a free pass to a world championship, and it's like, oh yeah, it's awesome. Why is it awesome? Just because you like him more? That's ridiculous. So you're saying that you don't care about proper build for a character, that you don't care about the chase that the character has to go through for the title. Like, look, this is why I say motherfuckers won't understand the feeling I had when Chris Benoit won the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 20. Here's the thing. Chris Benoit was one of the best built-up stars that company has made. And anyone who watches my channel knows I do not say his fucking name. Everyone knows it. But just to make it clear to all the people, when I talk about building a fucking star, This is how you do it. Chris Benoit is the perfect example of how you build a star. Chris Benoit had opportunities at the world title, but he never won them. But he always put on these good performances. And then he got a one-on-one opportunity against Kurt Angle at Royal Rumble 03. And he put on one of the most incredible performances of a challenger. And that made you respect him. That him as a challenger was able to take it to the champion like that. And you said to yourself, man, one day I want this guy to become champion because holy shit, he deserves it. It wasn't like Benoit was like Daniel Bryan, who had a Money in the Bank briefcase and he cashed in on a dead Big Show, or like CM Punk, who had a Money in the Bank briefcase. Like, look, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, their chases to the titles are so different because they were at least world champions before, but they just didn't have really good runs as world champions. Benoit, it was like he never had that. We wanted that as fans. Everyone collectively wanted to see Chris Benoit succeed, because that was a story that was excellent to tell. And Benoit went on against a lot of odds, went on and succeeded and became the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And it's like a lot of people, I get it. Balor is more to the hardcore fans, and I get it. You're happy the guy's going to succeed. But when I talk about Chris Benoit, and you guys know how I feel about Chris Benoit, I don't really give a fuck about him anymore. But when I'm sitting here and I'm telling you that him winning the world title was special to me because I had to wait for it, and it was just such a wonderful journey that I can't forget it in my head, that just shows how special it was when he got there. Finn Balor doing what he did is not special. It is so forced and it's so shoved, and it helps for a short-term effect. It's awesome for the short term of saying, oh, this is cool, this is fresh. But in the long term of things, you're going to make it worse for him. Because, see, further down the line, I know a lot of people don't believe it, but it does happen. Further down the line, when Finn Balor is in a later portion of his WWE career, you know, a lot of people are going to be like, holy shit, why does this guy always get the opportunities? Why is this guy always shoved down my throat? Why is this guy always here? Why is this guy there? And it hurts him in the long run of things. Look at Randy Orton. Randy Orton used to be Mr. A lot of people did not see through the Randy Orton BS throughout all his career because they were so sick and tired of the Cena BS. And Randy Orton got the same amount of shit that Cena did, always was forced down our throats like Cena did. But since he could wrestle a little bit better and he wasn't as boring as Batista, and keep in mind, I'm a huge fan of both Batista and Randy Orton and everything like that. Huge fan of both of those guys. It was like Randy Orton all of a sudden became like the IWC favorite. Everyone loved Randy Orton. And it wasn't until he buried another IWC favorite like Christian where fans started to churn on Randy Orton because they're like, man, Randy Orton always gets handed everything. Randy Orton gets handed everything. Randy Orton this, Randy Orton that. And then they start to look at the stuff that they used to like in his career and turn it into a negative. That can happen to Finn Balor. If you guys don't think that can, it will. Because sooner or later, there's going to be another indie guy that you guys all love and you guys all respect and you all want to see succeed. And then it's LOL, Finn Balor wins and you get pissed off. And then later on, you go look back at Finn Balor's track record and his history and going for the world title and everything like that. And you will see that this guy has always been handed shit, always been shoved down our throats, and it hurts. You know, it's always special when you got to see Shawn Michaels go for a title back in the mid-2000s because it was like you wanted to see HBK at least have one more run with the championship. It was special when Benoit won his. Guerrero, to some effect, it was special when he won his because, like, let's be real here. Guerrero, it was kind of like random. Like, I love Eddie Guerrero, don't get me wrong. Great wrestler and everything like that. It was really random that he won the title from Lesnar out of nowhere. I mean, I'm just saying, I would have booked Lesnar versus Goldberg for the WWE title, but that's just me. That's just me. But, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't think fans think like that. I think a lot of fans are just saying, it's awesome because it's a guy we like and it's going to be great. It's like, it's great now. Let's see how great the Finn Balor shove works. But in the long term of things, and especially later in Finn Balor's career, it could really hurt him. Fans don't see it like that. I showed you examples with Randy Orton, how much that hurt his career. Look at Batista when he came back. Batista's another guy. You know, Batista was kind of low-key about it because Batista was on SmackDown, and, you know, not a lot of people were watching SmackDown at the time and everything like that. But remember when Big Dave came back and he won the Rumble and everyone was going on and saying, oh, Batista's always been handed everything in his career, and they started to look back at all his past accomplishments and started to hate on him? Just saying. Just saying. Same shit can happen to a lot of your favorites. You know, it happens to Reigns right now because no one really likes Reigns. But Rollins actually has had a better push than Finn Balor. Like, he's been shoved, but not too far down the throat. You know what I'm saying? He's been shoved more as a character aspect of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, Seth Rollins has been more shoved through character progression and stuff like that. Like, he's at least had some progression throughout his career, but he's definitely been shoved down our throats. There's no denying that. But Finn Balor, this was definitely a shove. Almost a force. I think it's hard for me to sit here and try to believe that Finn Balor, you know, beat Roman Reigns like that, beat Rusev like that, and has a possibility of beating Seth Rollins like that. So, yeah, that's just me. That's my Finn Balor rant. You guys can agree or disagree. It's fine. All opinions are welcome. Just know that I feel like in the long term, this will hurt Finn Balor's career. I mean, Chris Benoit did one of the worst things a human being can do. But yet, I still feel that special way when I see him win that title at WrestleMania 20. It sucks. I wish I didn't feel that special way. But, dude, if you were watching that wrestling around that time, you guys know what I'm talking about when it came to Chris Benoit winning that World Heavyweight Championship. You know what I'm talking about. And then finally, WWE trolled the internet fans once again with the Roman Reigns heel turn. You know, afterwards, Roman Reigns went on and looked at Finn Balor, looked like he was going to beat him up, and then Roman Reigns said, I hope he beats Seth Rollins. I respect him, and I'm going to get that belt and fight him again. Believe that. And that's how we ended Raw. Roman Reigns definitely in the doghouse for failing a suspension. Wonder if Brock Lesnar will be in the doghouse. You know, estrogen blockers. That's one hell of a drug. No enhancements needed, said Randy Orton. Randy Orton, 2016. Make America great again, Randy. Make Viperville great again. Anyways, guys, that's it for the Raw review. SmackDown review. Now, I just going to let you guys know I'm going to be doing my SmackDown review Wednesday. And I know a lot of you guys may be wondering, why won't I do it that Tuesday? Here's the thing. SmackDown, I can't talk right now. I get off work at 10:30 tomorrow, and then I'm going to watch SmackDown after I get off work. And then by the time I watch SmackDown, which is probably like an hour and 5 minutes, you know, an hour and 5 minutes of worth of show, you know, it's going to be 11:35 my time, which is like 3 a.m. my time, and no one will be up to watch it. I mean, people can watch it via the archive, but it's more fun interacting with people and everything like that. So that's why I'm saying right now that the SmackDown review will be later in that night. The Raw reviews, will they continue? It's all up if I can make the post-Raw rundown, to be honest with you. If I can make the post-Raw rundowns, just go to OK Fabe's channel, and you will hear my thoughts there. But when it comes down to the Raw reviews, if I just don't make it, then yeah, I'm going to do the Raw reviews on my channel. Maybe I'll do solo Raw reviews. Maybe I'll do some solo stuff. If, like, let's just say on the OK Fabe show, because we do have a panel on there, and there's more I want to talk about, I'll do, like, my quick little Raw review, and won't be as long as this one. But, yeah, SmackDown I will review on Wednesdays on the Chase Oliver channel, so stay tuned on Wednesdays. And will I keep up with the SmackDown reviews? Honestly, guys, it all comes down to work schedule. I ain't going to sit here and bullshit you saying, yeah, I'm going to do it every Wednesday. No. It comes down on work schedule. You know, if my work schedules me Wednesday morning, probably won't get a SmackDown review till Wednesday night. So, you just want to let you guys know that. Anyways, comment down below if you're watching on the archive, your thoughts on the Finn Balor shove and anything else I talked about in this video. Make sure you guys hit that like button and hit that subscribe button down below. Follow me on Twitter at ChaseOliver68. Thank you all very much. Enjoy your day, guys. Peace.